Hello and welcome back everyone to the classes of PHP Teacher Online. I am Raju Kundu and we are going to start JavaScript lesson 4 today. Okay, hope all of you are doing well, and I think you remember on the last class I have taught you the basics of if and else, and also if else if. Okay, three criteria together. So now today I am going to teach you more details about if else by using some logical operators also, and maybe today we will learn some part of loop, that is that for loop. While you remember this for loop, while loop, do while loop, these things also a bit today. Then we are going to go to the advanced part of those on the next classes. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get started. To get started, let's create a new file again. So I'll be copy and pasting this particular previous example of if else. So let's do a copy paste. Let's increase the font size for all, and now let me save it with a name like if else with logical operator. Okay, and now .html file it will be. Let's save it. Okay, now you see last time what we did, we just took one variable, we just compared one particular value, like if it is greater than that one or equal to that one, then something will happen. So this time I'll remove this, I'll write it freshly, and we'll do something else. Like we'll have a variable called as var, say a and b. So two variables we have right now. Okay, and also let me open up this example in the browser. So this is not the one. I'll have to go here and then I'll have to open it using which one, this one. So I'll have to open this one. Yeah, over here. Done. Now let's go close this one. Okay, now it is open, but it will not function anything because I have not written anything right now. So we have taken two variables, where a and where b. Suppose where a contains 10 and where b contains 12. Okay, now we are going to write an if else statement, like if a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 12. In that case we will alert a message, that will say okay, and on the other hand, in the else case we will alert another message that will say wrong. So what we have stated to the computer, like if our a variable contains a value of 10 and our b variable contains a value of 12. Remember, we are using and operator over here, like I explained in this place. Here see, and we have used and operator over here. So and operator will make sure like both the condition, this one and this one, both are true. If both are true, only then it will print okay. If any one of these are false, or maybe both of them are false, in that case it will show wrong. Okay, let me explain. Now let's see the example. Let's refresh and click. See, it is right now printing okay. Now let's make one of the conditions wrong, like let's make this one 13. So right now b is containing 13, but I am checking it or comparing it with 12. Like 13 is not equals to 12, we know that, but we are trying to compare like 13 is equals to 12 or not. So it will be a wrong statement. So in this case, as we are using and, this one is true because a is containing 10, but this one is false because b is containing 13. So in this case the answer will be wrong because one of them are false. Let's see, let's refresh and check. See, it is showing wrong. And if both the cases are wrong, in that case also it will be showing wrong only. Let's see, refresh. See, still it is wrong. Now what will happen if instead of like this one is okay, and instead of using and operator we use or operator? In this case we are telling our computer like a should be 10, b should be 12, but b is actually 13, but we have used or operator. That means either of them is, if are true, like this one is true but this one is false, in this case it is going to show okay, because if any one condition meets the requirement, then it will print okay. But if both the conditions do not meet the requirement, then it will print wrong. So this is the way and or works. Let's see this. See, right now it is printing okay, although we know like B does not contain 12, but we know A is containing 10. So this condition is true, this condition is false. Still it will print okay because at least one of them are true. If both of them are true, then obviously it is going to print okay. Let's see. Okay, but if both of them are wrong, like this is 11 and this is something else like 19, in this case it is going to print wrong because both of the statements or both of the conditions are wrong in this case. So you need to remember, in case of and or usage, if you want like both conditions must match to do certain things, in that case you have to use and. If you want to do it this way, like any one of will match and it will print okay or it will be fine, in that case you have to use or. So or stands for if both of them are wrong, then the whole thing is wrong. If one of them is okay, then the thing is okay. And if you use and, then if any one of those are wrong, then it will print wrong, and if both of them are fine, only then it will print okay. So this is the way how and or works, and we will continue this one with another separate statement also. Like we'll build some other complex thing, we might add something and then we'll check less than or greater than in those cases. Okay, so let's go ahead with that kind of example. Now to move forward with another situation, I'll keep this example, I'll comment it out. Basically this part I'll comment it out. I have shown you this one before also, like this is multi-line comment, so this particular section will not work. So I'll copy this whole function over here and I'll paste it again in this place. Now this time what I'm going to do is, suppose A and B are there, fine, and I'll take another variable as C, and also I'll take another variable as message, MSG. Okay, and in the message I'll say like hello. So I'm going to show you like how to compare a string value also right now. Okay, so so this way you can compare things together. So okay, yeah, I'll show you how to compare string value also, and there are some string functions to do those kind of things also. So let's see. First what I'll do, I'll remove these things out over here, and I'll do an addition over here, like C will be equals to A plus B. So in this case what will happen, A and B will get together, like I'll make it a small number like 10 and this one will be 5. Okay, now both of them are added together and kept inside C. Next what I'll do, next I'll do a checking over here, like if C is greater than 12, then something will print, and if C is less than 12, then something else will print. Okay, so let's say I'll write down it like C is greater than 12, then print okay, and else wrong. See, right now I have not used this message variable, I'll be using that with some and or. I'll be explaining that to you. First let us check what will happen here. So can you guess, like we have 10 and 5, so the addition will be 15, that we know, and we already know like 15 is greater than 12, so it should be printing okay. Let's see. Yeah, it is printing okay. So instead of that, if we put 1 over here, so 10 and 1 will together become 11. 11 is less than 12, so obviously it will print wrong. Let's see. Okay, see, so these things are working fine. Now let's make it 5 once more. Now what we'll do, we will combine that message variable along with this number variable to do check multiple condition using and or. Okay, so let's go ahead. And now when we try to compare a string inside the if else statement in JavaScript specifically, you cannot write something like this, like suppose and is fine, and we can write. You cannot write something like this, like message equal to hello. This is not the correct technique. Okay, so to do this you are going to learn another new thing over here. Like remember we have learned alert is a ready-made or inbuilt function in JavaScript. Similarly, there is another ready-made inbuilt function available in JavaScript which will help us to do this particular comparison over here. So I am going to show you that how that particular thing works. You will have to write like this one, message dot local compare, this particular function. See, okay, so you have to write message dot local compare, then you will have to mention over here as that particular message hello. That means what I am trying to compare, whatever I have in message variable, that string, compare it with this particular string using this function, and if both of them are true, then this function will return you 0. Okay, this function will give you a value 0 if both of them are equal. If they are not equal, either this function will give you -1 or it will give you a +1. Now this has a certain reason why it will give you either +1 or -1. Basically, there like when you use keyboard characters, they have American Standard Code for information interchange, that is ASCII values. Okay, so the combination of these ASCII values and the combinations of this ASCII value which they contain, these both strings ASCII value, if they are calculated and the result becomes ASCII value is basically a number, okay, integer number. So if the combination of those two becomes to a negative value, then it will return -1. If combination of those two, by comparing those two, it becomes a positive value, then it will show you +1. So depending on that particular order of the alphabets or the characters weight, you can say, after calculating them, if there is a positive result, then it will show +1. If there is a negative result, then it will show -1. But if both are matching, like both are same thing written, then the result will be ±0. So that means if 0 happens, that means those values have matched. Now let's see, if I save it and refresh it over here and try it, it will say okay. Why it is saying okay? Because both of them are fine. But if I mention it like this, now hello is not equals to this one. In this case, if I refresh and try, it will say wrong, because this particular criteria has matched, but this one has not matched because the value is wrong over here. It is not matching with this particular value, so it is not returning 0. Instead of returning 0, it is either returning -1 or returning +1. So we do not need to think about that. We will just mention 0. If 0 becomes, then that means it has matched. If there is no 0, that means it has not matched. Just as simple as that. Okay, so similarly, if we try or over here again, in this case this particular statement is true because it is greater than 12. 10 and 5 is 15, so it is greater than 12, but this particular is false. Still it will give you okay. See, it is giving you okay. Why? Because this one has failed, but we have used or operator, so that's why this one has passed, so it will print okay. But if both fails, like suppose we have given greater than 12, but over here we have given 1, now both are failing, in this case it will show you wrong. Okay, so it is showing you wrong now. So this is the way how you should be using if and else statement with logical operators. Okay, so these are just some basic examples. Do not worry about the complex things. We will be slowly moving to them. I will show you like very different many kind of examples. I will show you animations and lots of things together. Okay, but these things needs to be clarified first. If you understand all these aspects one by one, then you can combine them to create a complex solution or complex program. Okay, so we'll be moving to that later on. Now it's time to move to for loop, while loop and do while loop. That is, what are loops and how to use them, and what are the facilities that we will be availing by using them. So I'll be teaching loop now in another example. Okay, let me create a new file again, and let's copy this whole example and paste it over here. Save it with the name of like loops.html. Okay, so first we have to understand some part of theory, and let's increase the font size, and also let's let's change this to loops. Okay, now first we have to understand some part of the theory to do our for loop or those kind of things. Okay, so let's remove this, let's remove this part also. Okay, now why we should be using loops at all, or loop you can say. So loop means generally when you find inside your program there is a particular thing that you have to do like 5 times, 10 times, 12 times, 100 times, 2000 times. Okay, same thing needs to be done that many times. Instead of writing that same code again and again to do that job or to do that work, you should be using loop. Okay, now to write loop there are three different ways. Like there is for loop which has different syntax, there is while loop which has another different syntax, and there is another one loop called as do while loop. Although there is a small basic difference between for and while with the do while. Okay, do while is basically different from these two. Now what that particular difference is, I will explain it later once we are doing the practical thing. But you need to be clear about this, like whenever repeated tasks are being done in a program, you need to use loop to complete that particular task. Okay, because you should not be writing, like suppose you have to alert your name 5 times, so you should not be writing alert 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 5 times. That is like not the way to be done. Let me show you with that example only. In that case you will understand it more clearly. Okay, first let me open up this file. So that one is loops html. Open with my Google Chrome. Open, close this. Now let me show you that particular example that I have told you right now. Suppose I want my name to appear 5 times in an alert. Okay, so alert Raju. Now what I will be doing, because as I do not know loop right now, I will be copying and pasting this for 5 times, or forget 5 times, let's say I'll do it for 3 times. Okay, so 3 times my name will come one by one using this alert. Okay, let's see how it works. Refresh, click on this. Okay, Raju first time, Raju second time, Raju third time. Okay, and it's gone. So 3 times Raju has appeared, but this is only 3 times, so I have copy pasted it. What would have happened if this should have been done for 300 times or 3000 times? In that case, you cannot copy paste it 3000 times or 300 times. That will be totally wrong. This is also wrong. We should not be using this like copying, pasting same thing again and again. So instead of that, we should be using a loop. And to get started with, we'll be using for loop at the beginning, and then we'll move to while loop, and later on we'll move to do while loop. I don't know whether in this particular lesson all three of them will get completed, but in this particular lesson I'll complete with for loop only, so you can understand the basic idea. Then we'll move to the other loop statements. So let us create that for loop stuff over here instead of writing alert 3 times. What I'll do at first, I'll remove these two alerts from here. Now one should be kept because that we need. Now how to write a for loop? First of all, we'll take one variable called as I. Okay, now there is no such rule that you have to take a variable called as I am taking I as a variable because you can state I for index. Okay, as this thing will perform the task 3 times, so that's why I am assuming that I is my index, which will start with some number and which will end after 3 times. Okay, so that's why I am taking I. You can maybe take A, you can maybe take K, you can maybe take O, whatever variable you want, but I is the standard that is being followed because I stands for index, you can say that. Okay, now here I will be writing the syntax of for loop. Okay, first I will write the syntax of for loop, then I will comment it out, then I will write the actual code. So generally how for loop is written, you need to write a for over here, then you need to start a bracket and end it, then there should be a curly bracket, start and end. Now this particular thing, how it works, the first part of for loop is called as initialization. Okay, so this bit is called as initialization. Once the initialization gets completed, we should be mentioning a semicolon. Okay, now we won't be writing initialization when we will be writing the program, actual program, that is, but I am explaining how things are working. So this particular bit is called as initialization. Then there is a second bit that is called as condition. You know, conditions already you have done in if else, like something greater than, something less than, something equals to, those are called as conditions. Okay, so first initialization, then condition, then there should be either of the one thing, that is either increment or decrement. Now increment and decrement, this already you have done, the plus plus operator, the minus minus operator, or doing a plus with a variable with some value, we have done it already in the previous lessons. Okay, so you can use increment and decrement over here. Apart from this, whatever is inside this curly bracket, this will be called as loop body. Okay, this will be called as loop body. That means if I put my alert Raju inside here, and that loop is made in a way to perform 5 times or 50 times, then the alert will be appearing 5 times or 50 times accordingly. Okay, so it is like that. Now this what I have done over here, this is basically the syntax of for loop. Okay, till here it is the syntax of for loop. Now let's get with the actual thing. We need to write for, then over here we need to write I equals to 0. Maybe you can start it 1 also, there is no problem with that, but I am starting with 0 initially. Later I will explain how things will work. Okay, now I is getting initialized with 0 because I am assigning 0 to I. That's why this is the initialization phase. Okay, after this it will be a condition. Now I want this loop to be run 3 times most. Okay, 3 times. So I should be mentioning I less than 3. Now why I am mentioning less than 3 instead of less than equal to 3? Because I should be mentioning I less than equals to 3 as I want it till 3 times. I am not mentioning equals to because my I is getting started from 0. So 0 itself is a number. So 0 is number 1 position, 1 is number 2 position, 2 is number 3 position, and third time execution will get completed until I reach 2. That's why I am mentioning I less than 3 instead of mentioning I less than equals to 3, because this way it will work 4 times. Okay, so I am mentioning it till I less than 3. That means less than 3 means something around 2, it will get completed. So 0 is number 1 step, 1 is number 2 step, and 2 is number 3 step, and it will not get executed anymore because I have mentioned I less than 3 over here. Then another semicolon, and I need to mention I plus plus because I is starting from 0. Now I needs to get incremented each and every time the loop has been executed. So first it will be 0, then after I plus plus it will become 1, then after I plus plus it will become 2, and then it will not execute anymore because it will become greater than 2, that will be 3. So I have mentioned less than 3, it should be recommended to be executed that many times. Then you have to mention the curly brackets and nothing else. You have to just cut and paste this alert inside this curly bracket, so it works for 3 times for you. Now let's save it and check it over here. If I click on this, see alert is appearing once, then I press OK, alert is appearing second time, then I press OK, then alert is appearing third time, then I press OK, and it's gone. So it has executed exactly 3 times by using only one line of alert because it is inside the loop. But if in case I have mentioned less than equals to 3 over here, what would have happened? Let's see, it will be executed 4 times. Let's see, this is the first time, okay, second time, okay, third time, okay, fourth time, okay, then it is gone. So because from 0 till number 3 it will be 4 numbers or 4 repeated locations which it is getting, and it is executing that 4 times. Okay, so I could have mentioned I less than equals to 3, but in that case this should have been started from 1. So from 1 to 3 it is 3 locations, number 1 location, number 2 location, number 3 location. Let's see again, it will work for 3 times. Let's refresh and check. First time okay, second time okay, third time okay, done. so it has executed 3 times. So now you have to understand this very clearly, how things are working and where it is getting executed. Now let me explain you with some steps that you should note down in a notebook or wherever you want. I'll be explaining how this control flow is working or how this loop is working actually. Okay, let me explain that to you. So basically when the loop starts, it goes to the initialization phase. That means this particular bit is step 1. Okay, this particular bit is step 1, remember that. Then on the next step, it moves here and it checks whether the current value of I is less than or equals to 3 or not. Okay, so the first bit is this one, this is step 1. Then the second bit is this one, this is step 2. Now after this, it do not get executed over here. What it happens, this is step 1, this is step 2. In number step 3, it will become here and it will print the first Raju, or it will alert the first Raju for you. Okay, so that means this will be, let me try to write something, although this is not good idea, but still, this is step 1, this is step 2. Then what will happen, this is going to be step 3 actually. Okay, now what will be the step 4? Step 4 will be, it will be going over here and this will be your step 4. This will be actually your step 4 and it will increment the value with 1. So now I has become 2 because I plus plus will make it 2. Then what is the fifth step? Fifth step is here again, because it is checking now if 2 is less than 3 or not. If 2 is less than 3, then the sixth step will become here in this place. Okay, remember, it will never ever go back to this step again, because if it does so, it will become 1 again. So this step gets executed only once in the loop, only once, not more than that. Then it goes to this one, then here, then here, then again here, then again here, and this stays round and round until your condition fails. So after this, it will go here 6, then it will go here 7, and it will make it like 3. Then it will check here 8, like 3 is equals to 3. Then it will make 9. Then it will make over here 10, and after that 10, this condition will fail. It will go here, but this condition will fail. Why this condition will fail? Because over here already we have passed 3 and we have made it 4. Okay, so that's why this condition will fail. So these are the steps that needs to be followed while doing all these things like this. Okay, these are the steps. So 1 2 3 4, 1 no sorry 1 2 3 4, then 2 3 4 2 3 4 2 3 4. You can say it is going on like that way, like 2 3 4 2 3 4. That will be a step. And if you state it with a b c d, you can say a b c d and then b c d b c d b c d. That is the way it is going to be all around. So this is it for today's class, because I think I have taught you the basics of loop today, and also some part of if else with the conditional operators. So now go ahead with it, and on the next class I'll show you while loop, do while loop, and more details about loops and how to use them. Okay, so till then, bye bye. Do practice this so you can remember all the thing, and do like, share and subscribe my channel so I can bring more videos to you. Do subscribe it so I get the support to create more free videos for all of you. Thank you very much and goodbye.